Peace, peace, peace. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. I am sitting here this grand morning, this grand day, this grand rising. I just wanted to, talk to you about some things that came to my mind that I just wanted to get off my chest and see what was what. Peace to everyone. Peace, peace. I'm actually live on both of my pages, African Queen Norene and Norene Grubbs Weston Wilson page. I'm live on both pages. Peace. If you're there, give me some love. Let me know you're there. I can see you. I can see it popping up saying I got some people there, but I can't see you. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to get right into it because I don't like going on to videos where, there's a lot of foreground, not a lot of information going on beforehand. Tried to have myself together and all my words and what I was going to say. I came from a place where I would jump on computer and jump live and say whatever, to a place where I'm just like really stagnant in my words and what I would say and what I would do. But I told you the title is Instincts, Nature, and Harmony. And recently, within the past couple weeks, I've been having a lot of downloads, a lot of information given to me that I naturally download within myself, that comes to me through that universal energy. The first thing was instincts. Actually, the first thing that came to me was harmony. And in the midst of harmony, when you think of harmony, you think of music. You think of how a band plays, or how orchestra plays, or a symphony. You think of music when you think of harmony. And when you think of harmony being one way, harmony is what it is. It's a whole bunch of things threw together to come out with the same result, the same sound. So what I'm thinking is, when I was growing up, they always told us about harmony. I used to hear the word harmony a lot. Even I think about the song, one of my favorite songs was Ebony and Ivory by Michael Jackson. And I think, can't remember his name. Can't remember the white guy's name. I think he was one of the Beatles or something. But anyway, harmony, I turn my, it's a distraction. Those words going up there is a distraction. I'll turn it back on in a little bit. So if you're saying something to me and I don't respond, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just, trying to stay on track about what I'm speaking on. But harmony being whether or not whether it's with music or not. But I took the time because harmony kept coming back into spot, coming back in. So I took the time to actually look up the word harmony so that I can place it, that I know that I'm placing it adequately within where it's supposed to be. So harmony is the study. I'm sorry, I can't read my writing. It's simultaneously occurring frequencies, pitches, tones, notes, and chords. The part that gets me is it's simultaneously occurring frequencies. Each and every one of us as individuals are in different frequencies, but we can be on the same frequency at any given time. So you will run into, for instance, that you gravitate towards people And they always seem to be the same type of people. That's because y'all all on the same frequency. You're all, on the same playing field. So this says simultaneously occurring frequencies is harmony. My thing is that we can all exist in the same place at the same time and be in harmony and get the same result. Because at the end of the day, when you have a trumpet playing, a trombone playing, a guitar playing, whatever, all these different instruments playing at the same time, you come out with a sound and you come out with the end result the way it's supposed to sound, right? So when we become in harmony as people, because what it is simultaneously occurring frequencies. We are a lot of different frequencies moving at the same time. Our energy is clashing in between each other at all times. But we're only on the playing field in frequency with certain people. So we think that we're supposed to be able to, intertwine and come out with other people. So when you talk about relationships, now I'm kind of jumping all over the place because this is a download. This is how this stuff comes to me, right? But when you're in a relationship, in that relationship, you think about you're with this person and you don't know why you're with this person after some time. In the beginning, in that relationship, I was just speaking to my niece this morning. I actually wrote this down to her. But in the beginning of the relationship, it seems like y'all in the same place, in the same playing field, doing the same thing. And then all of a sudden, your frequencies shift. But you think, oh, they just changing. Oh, they just changing. And most times, it's in a relationship when one outgrows the other. Not to put my brothers down, but most times it's the woman that outgrows according to outgrowing, right? It's not outgrowing, outgrows the man, right? Because a woman is constantly elevating where at a different speed, a man elevates. So the frequencies will be like this. But if you don't spend enough time with a person, you won't know that your frequencies are like this. Or if you try to keep that same thing that kept y'all, that brought y'all together, is what's keeping y'all together, then y'all not in harmony. There's no harmony in that relationship because y'all not coming out with the same sound. Y'all not coming out, y'all not on one accord. You're not functioning together. And harmony functions throughout your entire life. And that's where I say nature comes into play, because when nature plays itself out, it's in harmony. It's all in harmony. It all flows. Nobody is making, in nature, no one's making a choice. Okay? So that's the opposite. To me, to harmony, choice is the opposite. When you feel you have a choice of something that you need to do or that you can do, when you feel like you have a choice, you take that choice and you break yourself away from everything that's in harmony. That's why we cannot, as a people, come together, because we don't realize that there is a harmony. Then that takes me into instinct. The reason we don't know that harmony is the key is because our instincts have been altered. We have natural instincts. We have natural powers. We have natural, instincts. We have gut feelings. We have all those things, right? So those feelings, those gut feelings and all, these are all instincts that's built into us. So when I just read to you, harmony is simultaneously occurring frequencies, which means that we all can function. No matter how many frequencies are going on, you're going to find that person on your frequency, and in that mode and in that moment, you're going to be on the same playing field. Meaning that I gave an example to my children. I said, I need my household to function and operate in harmony. And how that happens is that we don't just do things because that's what we think our job is to do, but we do things when it's needed. We don't walk past a piece of paper on the floor and let 5 people walk past it, and then the 5th person is the one that picks it up and throw it away. Harmony would be that the first person picked it up, because the 5th person shouldn't even knew that it was on the floor. That's harmony. It's harmony when you know that it snowed outside, 10 feet of snow, and everybody in the household gets up, put their boots and coat on, and grabs a shovel and knocks it out together. That's harmony. That's everybody on the same page, even if we don't need everybody out there shoveling the snow. Harmony means that we're all on the same frequency. We're all thinking and doing things to make things better for someone else, or because it's not about self, right? It's never about self. So if we're thinking about somebody else in the process, so if you have a family with mother, father, and children, if we teach our children and we implement this ourselves within our lives to only be concerned with others and not be concerned with self, and I know that can be contradicting in a way, but you should be. Once you know who you are, you can study the person in front of you, and that'll tell you a lot of times exactly who you are, because when you're on that frequency, I'm going back to that, when you're on that frequency, the people who you attract is exactly who you are. It's exactly who you are. You may think that it's a little bit something different about me and that person, but you got to realize you attracted that person for a reason. And until you realize that what you put out, you get back. And when you realize you're looking at your reflection. So when I'm looking at my sister, not my sister as through blood or through DNA, but my sister who looks like me, I look in the mirror, I see her, I'm like, I'm looking in the mirror, I'm seeing my sister, because the sister I seen is my direct reflection, right? My direct reflection. You are a reflection of me if you are my sister or my brother. Our situations, our circumstances, they don't alter, they don't change because, my name Norene and yours is John, or your name is Jessica. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't change the fact that we're on the same frequency because we're attracted to each other. But again, that takes me from nature, from harmony, which is a natural thing, it's natural in nature, right, to instinct, which is a natural thing. So I took the time to look up the word instinct, right? Instinct said it was a natural, right, or inherent aptitude, impulse, or capacity. It's a natural or inherent aptitude. I was going to take the time to look up the word aptitude because we think we know what this stuff means because we've heard it in sentences and we're trying to put it together. But when we look up the actual definitions, they're actually different. You might want to take the time when you hear a word that you think sounds familiar because you think you know what it meant or means, and you read it and it means something totally different. You realize that you're speaking spells and curses over yourself when you speak words that you don't know what the actual definition of those words are. And then it also says, a largely inheritable and unalterable tendency of an organism to make a complex and specific response to environmental stimuli without involving reason. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time because that was a lot of words and it was all put together, and I'm going to break it down for what it really says because it sounds like a whole bunch of gibberish, right? A largely inheritable and unalterable. So instinct is a largely inheritable and unalterable tendency of an organism to make a complex and specific response to environmental stimuli without involving reason. So when you break this down, instinct is what we all naturally have. We don't even realize that we have natural instincts or how to use them or how they work. I mean, I feel like it's impossible that I've been around all my life and I didn't think about a natural instinct. I mean, I thought about natural instincts, but not to the extent I'm thinking of them today. The instincts that we have, it says a largely inheritable, which means we inherit our instincts. Inherit means we pick it up from generation to generation. It's an inheritance of our lineage. It is who we are, right? As above, so below, right? It's an inheritance and it's unalterable. Tendency. The tendency is unalterable. But you can alter the instinct of an individual. Let's break that down one more time. The tendency of instinct is unalterable. But the unalterable tendency, but the instinct can be altered. So the instinct can be altered by the way that they've been altered. By distractions, by confusion, by busyness, by all those things that have been put into place to alter the instinct. So the instinct is altered, but the tendency is never altered. It goes unaltered. So think about that. That's why we have the tendency to know that we actually have an instinctual inheritance, but we don't even know how to use it because it's been altered. The instinct itself has been altered, but the tendency of the instinct has been unaltered. So you do have the tendency, you want to do it, but you don't even know how to do it because you've been altered, right? And then it says, of an organism. So let me read it again. A largely inheritable and unalterable tendency of an organism. The organism, we are organisms, right? We're made up of all kinds of organisms. So that's the organism that it speaks of an organism. To make a complex and specific response to environmental stimuli. It's telling you that first it's inheritable. The tendency of it is unalterable. The tendency is part of an organism, which we are full of organisms, to make a complex and specific response to an environmental stimuli. The stimuli is what stimulates you, that stimulates the instinct, that makes the instinct work, that makes it, right? And they're telling you that it's complex and specific response to the environmental stimuli. So based on your environment, your instincts are a certain way. Based on your environment, your instincts are a certain way. So our environment, we know our environment is all over the place, right? Like I said, busyness, distraction. You got the R. Kelly scandal. You got Donald Trump as the president, period, right? You got all these things going on. You got the race wars. You got the religion wars. You got all this distraction. You got people talking about people with an ego and people that's over here, and it's people talking about everything. And now I'm out here talking about something, but I'm going to tell you why I'm talking. Where I get the information I get, I don't read in no book. The definitions are written definitions. This is the language we was given to use, so we have to decipher how to speak to, communicate to others. As African people, we have been able to speak multiple languages in everything, but go back to language, the one language that's universal through the universe is music. I don't care where you go in the world, music is universal. So harmony, would be universal as well if we've paid attention to nature, okay? Paid attention to nature. Back to the word instinct. And then it says, without involving reason. So it says, a largely inheritable and unalterable tendency of an organism to make a complex and specific response to environmental stimuli without involving reason. There's no reason to it. You don't have to have a reason. You don't have to have a reason. When you have an instinct, you don't have to have a reason why you have the instinct. You need to follow the instinct, whatever that is. For instance, we have the power to telepathically communicate with each other. The unfortunate part is because we have so much distraction and so many interferences in our frequencies that we don't often exercise nor know that it even exists, because we have, gadgets like the cell phones, we have the iPads, we got laptops, we got anything that's a distraction that keeps us from using and becoming lazy. We're getting lazier and lazier and lazier, right? We're getting to a point where we depend on the phone. We will leave home, not have our phone, and then end up back home to pick up the phone, even if it's going to make us late to the appointment. But we got to have that phone, right? We got to have that phone, because our whole life is in that phone. But when we realize we can telepathically communicate with each other, it won't matter. When we realize that we have the power to control, we have the authority over us. I spoke about that in a post I made. The authority, that was another download. It's like authority is, the word author is in the word authority. The definition of authority is to rule over and control basically whatever the situation, whatever that authority you have over whatever. For me, you need to have authority over yourself, because you are the author and the finisher of your fate, right? Every day you can get up and write your story. You can write it every day. It could be different every day. You don't have to have the same adventure every day. But for me, it comes up to say, lights, camera, action. No matter where I'm at, whatever happens. Like, I'm in front of this camera now, it's lights, cameras, action. But I'm telling you, a lot of stuff that's coming out of my mouth is downloads, right? Because this information made me think about this information that I'm reading off to you. I mean, it's very plain, it's very clear, right? It's telling you exactly, but it's what we're supposed to be doing by nature. Again, I'm going to go back to, I was saying something about, I'm all over the place, y'all. I'm all over the place. I'm on fire. Let me see. Instincts. Instincts being, also it says a behavior. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, it also says that an instinct is a behavior that is mediated by reactions below the conscious level, right? A behavior that is mediated by reactions below a conscious level. What's below a conscious level? Instinct is the behavior that is mediated by reactions below the conscious level. What's below your conscious level? Your subconscious, maybe? I said I was going to look into that a little more too. I have that underlined on my paper here to see what that means. What does a conscious level consist of? Because if your instincts lie as a behavior and it mediates the reactions, but below a conscious level, what does that mean? So I want to see what that means. But for me, that's me reading definitions out of a book. For me, reading that, to me, it means below, like conscious level, conscious and subconscious. Subconscious is like that big, if you want to, like you see the water, like this, let's say this is the ocean, right? This is the ocean. And there's a iceberg. The iceberg above that is your conscious, right? That's your conscious. And all of that berg down below is your subconscious. It holds a lot of information. And we don't know that we attract things through our subconscious mind. But when our subconscious mind is so suppressed and our conscious mind is so focused on those things, we feed the subconscious mind. We feed it. Even though in our conscious mind, we're like, the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie, right? In the back of your head, you like, this shit's still weighing on me. This is messing with me, it's bothering me, you know, whatever, right? That's your subconscious mind. I always say, like, conscious is here, subconscious is here. I mean, that for whatever reason, I always point back here. And I heard somebody talking about how they can feel that up the back of their neck, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, so basically, I'm going to go back and I'm going to recap real quick, because what I said was, harmony is when we come together on all different types of frequencies, but we come out with the same sound, the same result, the same plan, the same whatever. We're all going the same direction. And I said, if you put that into what nature has going on, if we follow nature, nature doesn't have to be told what to do. We are creatures that are being told what to do. Birds don't have to be told what to do. Trees don't have to be told what to do. Grass don't have to be told what to do. Squirrels don't have to be told what to do. The sun don't have to be told what to do. The stars don't have to be told what to do. The moon don't have to be told what to do. We're the only creatures that exist that have to be told what to do. Why is that? We don't follow nature. That's why. We got into a place where now we think that we have to be told everything. You know, we have to be told. So that's where we lose our harmony. Because in harmony, no one needs to verbally communicate anything. And that brings me to my next point. Verbal communication. An instinct. This instinct that I'm telling you about, when you have a natural instinct, it's something that never goes away. So I'm going to go back to another relationship example. And I'm going to say, when you're in a relationship, whether you're a man or a woman, there's oftentimes during that relationship that you realize that you think that that person should know exactly what you're thinking, even without a man or a woman relationship, right? I mean, you know, I'm saying like a relationship like that, like a boyfriend, girlfriend type of thing, husband, wife. Even without that, you think your children should know what you're thinking. Your children should think that you should know what they're thinking. The teacher thinks that you should know what she's thinking. However, everybody thinks that you should know what it is that they're thinking. Why would that be a factor if it wasn't a true instinct? Think about what I'm saying. Again, when I read the definition of instinct to you, it said unalterable tendency. Why, if that's not a natural, it's not a natural, lips turn away. It's not a natural thing, a natural instinct, would everybody be going through the same thing? Thinking or trying to overcome being a mind reader. They're trying to overcome it. Like, I'm going to be listening closely and intently to what this person says that they want. So when it comes down to it, it's like I'm a mind reader. Well, actually, you don't need to intently and look and listen to what someone says, because verbal words are left up to perspective and interpretation. Verbal communication is left up to interpretation and perspective. What I mean by that is the words that come out of my mouth, I know what I mean. I know, right? Once they leave my mouth, it's left up to interpretation of the person who's receiving what's coming out of my mouth. The words that we use today have so many definitions and so many meanings that I could say a word to you, and in return, you take the interpretation upon yourself to be whatever it is, and that's not what I meant. So you could either be mad, be happy, and you shouldn't be happy, or it could be a total miscommunication. But I think you told me that particular thing not because it made you sad, but because it made you happy, and so now my interpretation is off, and now I don't listen, and I didn't think, how could I not know this? Well, that's the instinct. The instinct is telling you you should know that. Why should we know that about each other? because we shouldn't be verbally communicating. They say relationships don't last or don't go far when the communication is off. Well, it's not the verbal communication that needs to be on. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't need to be the verbal communication. It needs to be the ability to telepathically communicate with that individual. It's to feel their energy and their frequency with that individual, right? You not doing that, because there was a time when you could come in contact with someone and note during that contact whether they were a good person, whether they're a bad person, whether they was on your frequency, whether or not. Now you have to do a lot more digging, because you got to listen to them. So you got this frequency, this verbal frequency going. You got the frequency of their whole demeanor. You're looking at body language. You're looking at their eyes. You're trying to decipher. But most times we're distracted. We're not even doing any of that. We hear what they're saying. We make up a story in our head, because if it sounds like something we want to hear, we make it sound better. We're so far off from having natural instincts and being in harmony. But this is the information that keep coming to me over and over and over again. Harmony, instinct, and nature. Nature is key. Nature is key in both of those, because in nature, the instincts is what keeps all the animals alive, right? We're like everything. We're like all things. All things. We are the all, right? But I had went a little bit all over the place, but I put down like all these different thoughts that keep coming to my mind, and those were the things. That one thing that I put out there for you, which was the harmony and how it's simultaneously occurring frequencies, right? We're on simultaneously occurring frequencies, so which means that we can be in harmony with one another and come out on one accord. We can do whatever it is we need to do. We can put our stuff in place where it needs to be and make it happen. We have to know that we are the authority over ourselves. So we govern ourselves and we hold ourselves accountable. That we are the authority, right? In every piece, authority, right? There was one other thing too, to look forward to. I might keep that and do a little more digging to that. I'm not going to talk about it. But then it was the nature, how nature, functions, right? Then you got the instinct. The instinct is the behavior that is mediated by reactions below the conscious level and largely inheritable. So you inherit these instincts, gut feelings, right? This is all things that I know that I can detect in people, especially when I'm just sitting in silence. I can detect these things in people. And I know that I can telepathically communicate. Like right now, if I actually think hard enough and I put enough energy and frequency out into the universe, that the message will be delivered, that I can have any one person that's either listening to me or not listening to me, right? Contact me that I want to, pretty much, but again, I will, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about looking forward to. I'm definitely going to do that, because that was a deep conversation I had about looking forward to. Yeah. I'm going to keep that until death do us part. I'm going to keep those together, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to come back and talk about that once I do some more my own mental research that I do, right? But in the meantime and in between time, it's been great. I appreciate all of you who come in and listen to this. If you found this some information that was great for you, Because, I mean, a lot of times when I'm speaking to myself. But at the same time, that message didn't just come to me. It came to everybody who's on my frequency. And so I'm just the messenger delivering the message. But at the same time, if you get a message and something is coming into you, you know, that you getting in the download, then go ahead. Go ahead. Share that information. Whether you write it in a post or you write it in a letter, send it in the mail, whatever you want to do. You know. But it's been great, people. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Again, if you would share, if you find it to be a benefit to somebody else, you know, you also be able to always pick up anything that I do up on YouTube. I'm University of Truth on YouTube. Just follow. I don't want to say follow. I don't want nobody following me. You know, I'm not going to go there right now, but I don't want nobody following me. And just subscribe to the little button with the little bell, right? Because I'm going to be uploading some content on there as well. I appreciate you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Peace, love, and light. Until next time.